So hello everyone, it's the Cricket Connoisseur here and welcome to episode 21 of the TCC Talks podcast. Now today's episode I'm joined by someone who'll be very familiar to any fans of associate cricket out there. It is none other than Scotland's leading wicket taker in both ODI and T20I cricket, Mr. Safyaan Sharif. So first things first, Safyaan, thank you very much for coming on to the podcast today. How's your day been so far, mate?
It's been not too bad. I've had a bit of a lazy morning, slept in a little bit. So I'm just, starting to fresh up. I'm just going to be heading out to work soon to help my dad out as well. So just after once we're done, that's where I'll be shooting. So far, so good. Good morning.
Good. Well, that's excellent to hear, obviously. Good to hear that you're keeping well, obviously, during these troubling times as well. So to kickstart this podcast, Safyaan, let's start right at the beginning of your career, per se. What was your first ever memory of cricket, either playing or watching the game?
Well, my first memory has probably been watching the game because my dad was a good cricketer himself. And one day he just took me along to watch his games. And I think I was around about the age of 9, 10. And my dad's friends would come and his children would come. So we would always watch a bit of the game and then, pick a bat and a hard ball, take a stump. So I use a tree as a stump and play on the side. So that's how my cricketing days started actually. So I started to get interested and I was like, whenever I was in school, I was like, can't wait for Saturday, I'm going to meet my mates. We'd have a bit of fun on the side while watching my dad and his dad play. So that's how my trend of cricket started to work. And then I think when I turned like 10, 11, that's when I started to play for a club in my local area, which is called Dunkirk Cricket Club. I was playing for the second team 11 in one of the divisions. And where it all actually kicked off was my dad plays for a team called Kisma Cricket Club. And at that time, I was playing for Dunkirk. And there used to be a Sunday competition league, which is pretty tough competitive league. And Kisma had never been beaten by Dunkirk within the 5 years they've been playing against each other. And that day, when I played for Dunkirk, we beat Kisma. And I can remember bowling 8 overs. And I bowled 8 overs in a row. And my dad was facing me and he says that I was struggling to, get off the mark when you were bowling. So from then on, my dad just saw a little bit of talent and then it kicked off kind of from there.
Well, that's a really nice story and a great way to get into the game as well. It's a very nice way to get into the game. Obviously, great to have your father behind you as well in that regard. And who were your real inspirations back then? Obviously, as a seam bowler, did you have anyone in particular who you really looked up to back then?
Back then, I mean, like, I can remember the likes of Wasim and Wakar, Shoaib Akhtar was a big one because he was very quick and I wanted to try ball as quick as I can when I was young. And I just used to watch their games all the time. Plus, because my dad's Pakistani background and we're a Pakistan background, so we had that sport. Whenever a Pakistan game on, everyone's around the house watching them. And I can remember watching Shoaib Akhtar and he had that extra factor in him, so it was quite good to see. And but I tried, when I was gradually getting older, I started to look at Abdul Razak and make my gameplay like him because he's an all-rounder who can ball a bit and bat a bit as well. So I'll probably look up to him. But when I was young, it was always my dad as an aspiration, because he himself was a good player as well. So I learned quite a lot from him and the support that he's given me throughout all my career until now. It's been fantastic.
Well, again, great choices, by the way, especially Shoaib Akhtar. I mean, his ability to swing the ball at ridiculous pace as well.
Yeah.
My goodness, he was an exciting seamer to watch. And what almost influenced you to become a professional cricketer? Because you obviously played a lot of cricket back then in your early days, but what made you think, I want to do this as a career?
To be honest, I never had in my head that I would ever be playing professional cricket, even at the age of like when I was getting selected for the youth under 15s, under 17s. It didn't, I think I gradually started to get serious when I went up to the Premier League at the age of 16. I moved clubs from a local club that was called Largo Cricket Club here. They played in a slightly lower league. My dad says that you need to move up and so you can play good competitive cricket. So when I moved up there and we were playing against pros, amateurs, and the league itself used to be very competitive as well. And that's when it kind of clicked. I was like, look, I can, if I'm getting picked for the regional districts, then you'll get picked in the Scotland A side. So gradually I started to get a lot more interested in that setup. And luckily, I one day came and I got picked out of the blue, to be honest, because I was just playing club cricket, and from club cricket to regional cricket, and then I went on to play Scotland national side. So it has been one hell of a journey, but I'll probably say I was probably around about the age 16, 17 when I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's quite a late bloom. Obviously, Naseem Shah, who I'm guessing
Yeah,
you know from the Pakistan thing, he's only 16 now.
yeah,
So, yeah, incredible. That is, well, it's not ridiculously late, but slightly later
yeah,
than perhaps some cricketers, definitely. And
yeah,
obviously, you've just alluded to, you've been through the Scotland youth ranks. How proud of a
yeah.
moment was it to make your debut for Scotland?
It was very. I can remember the day I had the call actually, and had been told I've been selected to be a part of the squad for the 2 1 days against Holland in Aberdeen. And obviously, I've been working a lot hard in my cricketing game. I've been traveling to Pakistan. I went there for 6 months to train previous years and stuff. And thanks to my parents who have supported me throughout my whole cricketing career. Like I said, there's nothing. I don't know what to say to them. Don't know how to thank them because that's how much they've done for me. But when I got the call up, I was very excited. I was just happy to be there. I mean, to play is obviously extremely, I would be excited, but just to be a part in that setup and that experience you gain from just being a part of the squad was quite amazing. And I can remember I didn't play the first ODI. We had one. The second ODI, I wasn't even playing either. One of our players got injured through the warm-ups, and alongside me on the bench was Alistair Evan, who had already had caps for Scotland. So I was thinking that he'd probably get because he's got that experience. But then they turned around to me that, look, you're in. Sorry for the late, but someone's injured, so you're gonna have to fill in. So at that time, when I was young, I was 20 years old. I didn't have like any pressure or anything in my head. All I was wanting to do is just enjoy it. And I can remember just when I even started my spell, I was just running up and bowling. That's all I thought about. I just want to run up the ball, and that's it. And luckily, everything fell in place, and
Yeah.
managed to get early wickets up top.
Yeah, and I've actually got the figures from that day. 4 for 27.
Yeah.
It's quite a debut.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's probably one of the best moments you can ever think of. Like playing a debut international level first game, and to perform like that was extremely. I was proud. I was quite proud.
And rightly so, yeah, against the Netherlands, one of the better teams in associate cricket, and also at the beautiful Manorfield Cricket Club in Aberdeen. I mean, what a place to make your
Yeah,
debut. Stunning.
definitely.
Yeah. What was your, in fact, this is slightly off topic, but what would you say is your favourite
Okay,
ground to play in Scotland?
I'd probably have to be the Grange because we play a lot of cricket there, and the wicket there is good. I'd probably say it's more batting friendly than bowling friendly, but
Definitely, yeah.
I still enjoy the atmosphere especially when we have a good crowd in. It's quite a good place to play at.
Well, yeah, and talking of the Grange, that kind of brings me nicely on to the next thing. Obviously, quite a famous occasion for Scottish cricket, 2018, beating England at the Grange. I mean, I've already spoken to Mark Watt and Callum McLeod on this podcast, funny enough,
Yeah.
about that day. And now, Safyaan, you took the final wicket of Mark Wood. How satisfying was it to wrap up that game and win it for Scotland?
I'm lost for words. Whenever someone asks me about this, I don't really know what to say. I mean, it was a special moment, and I was lucky enough to be the one to get the last wicket, which was the most important wicket of the whole game. To be honest, it was just a sight of relief because we've been working really hard to play that kind of cricket against these people who are playing the top side team in the world, and to perform like that and to win in such a high pressure tense game was unbelievable. And I was just happy enough to even I only contributed with one wicket. I was happy enough to do that, and it was just one of the best moments of my life, to be honest, especially for not just myself, for the whole nation. It was just one of the proudest moments I've ever been in.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the celebrations were rather electric, weren't they, when
Yeah,
that final wicket went down. And yeah, as you mentioned, batting friendly to say the least. I mean, Callum McLeod's got 140, didn't he? Bairstow also got a big knock. Yeah, pretty small
yeah.
boundaries at the Grange.
I mean, look, that game was amazing. Like if you see Kyle and Crossy, the way they went up the opening stance was unbelievable. They put pressure on the bowlers from ball one, and it just shows that the kind of cricket we can play as well. And that's the kind of cricket we have been leading up to play for so many years. And the wicket was unbelievable for batters, especially. It was batting friendly. We would bowl a good ball, it would go for four. So on that day anything could happen, and that's exactly what had happened that day.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we've already alluded to what a proud moment that was for Scotland. And you could have replicated that this summer, but unfortunately, the New Zealand and Australia games have been cancelled, haven't they, as a result of the pandemic? But yes, also pretty recently, Scotland qualified for the T20 World Cup. So first of all, congratulations for that. But
Thank you.
how would you describe your time at that tournament? Because you were Scotland's leading wicket taker with 13 wickets. How would you describe your time in the UAE?
I would say, if I'm being brutally honest, I wouldn't say I was at my best or the team was at their best. We were like big favourites because we had been playing good cricket. But unfortunately, the results didn't go our way. In a few games, we had a few silly losses that we shouldn't have had. But our target was to obviously qualify. Our main goal was to win it and be the champions of the qualifiers. But unfortunately, that wasn't to be. But then we had the task to still qualify, and we managed to do that luckily, and I was thankful to have contributed for the team as well throughout the tournament.
Yeah, definitely, and you did. Yeah, and well, probably the most vital one was your performance in the UAE, 3 for 21 in the qualifier. That sealed Scotland's place in Australia. So yeah, I understand it probably wasn't the best tournament for Scotland. Callum and Mark said the exact same things, but you're in there at the end of the day.
Yeah,
you're going to be competing.
definitely.
And what are your aspirations personally for that tournament?
For that tournament, was obviously first thing was to qualify, and for myself it was just to contribute as much as I can for the team, whether that would be with the ball or the bat. I wasn't thinking about I want to be the leading wicket taker. Every game I was just like, I need to do something to get to get past that line for the team. And I think I wasn't the best. I wouldn't say I was very consistent, but I did manage to put in a few good performances in, and we managed to qualify as well. And the team did really well. I think Mark Watt played absolutely amazing throughout the tournament. Hamza Tahir, the spinners did really well up there. I wouldn't say the seamers did particularly that great, but I think we did a good enough job as a bowling unit, and batters did their job. So we're glad that we got through as well.
Definitely, and those roles could switch in Australia, obviously, with more seam-friendly conditions, couldn't they? But yeah, outside of Scotland now, let's talk about your time in the GT20. For those who don't know what the GT20 is, it's Canada's almost version of franchise T20 cricket. But how did you find out that you're going to be playing for the Royals in that tournament?
Well, I got a call from my agent. I had been watching the live draft as well, and I had spoken to my agent. He said, "I'll put your name through and this and that. Make sure you watch your draft and stuff." And I was watching it, and gradually it was starting to get to the associate players. And thankfully, I had got picked, and I was very excited because it's my first like actual proper franchise T20 league to be a part of, and to be a part of such a good quality side as well was amazing. We had the likes of Kane Williamson, Faf du Plessis, Mohammad Hafiz, Ben Cutting, Jimmy Neesham. So look, the players there were unbelievable, and to learn a lot from them is always quite good, especially from Ben Cutting because he's an all-rounder. You got Jimmy Neesham, he's an all-rounder. So to learn new things, new field settings was quite good. It was an unbelievable experience. It's probably one of the best leagues I've played in so far. Hopefully, if things do go along, I get picked again.
Yep, definitely. And what would your aspirations in T20 cricket be? Would you want to be, I don't know, just almost in the GT20, or are you looking out to branch out into other leagues as well?
No, definitely. My aim is to play as much franchise cricket as I can, because that's the only way you're going to become a better player yourself, and everyone's watching you as well around the world, which is quite good. And to gain experience from quality top side players, it would be amazing to be a part of.
Definitely. And if you could choose one in particular, I don't know, one tournament or one franchise, which one would you really want to select you?
I would probably a team franchise or a league.
Team in a league, basically.
I would probably want to be in the Kolkata Knight Riders team.
Oh, wow.
Because Andre Russ is a big aspiration for me, and he hits sixes, he can ball quick, and that's something that I want to do in the future as well. So it'd be good to be a part of his team and to learn how he handles his batting and bowling, and maintain his body to keep fit at all times and to perform on the park consistently. That's something that I would probably want to learn from him.
Definitely, yeah, not a bad, not a bad inspiration to have, Dre Russell. I mean, yeah, he's a quality player. And you keep on mentioning this. Are you looking to become more of an all-rounder then with your game? What are you looking to improve in terms of your batting?
To be honest, in my batting, I've had a lot of opportunities to bat. I've worked really hard on my batting. I was known as a slogger when I was younger, and through the youth system, I used to just go in and just whack it. Didn't care who was bowling. But as you know, when you play international cricket, you need to be a little bit selfish with your wicket and not just give your wicket away. So, I mean, I have been batting like 7 and 8, and that's an ideal all-rounder spot. So I just want to try fit in and try contribute more with the bat. Obviously, my bowling's always been there, but if I can bring that into my game, I think I could play for longer as well, which is ideal for me as well.
Yeah, definitely. And there's no harm in doing either, becoming a bit more two-dimensional, well, three-dimensional, I suppose, including your batting and your fielding. But yes, also talking of, well, it was last year, you went on the MCC tour of Pakistan. And I wanted to know, how did you find out about even getting on that tour? When did the news come through for you?
Well, I've been hearing news through like the Pakistan news. They always had the MCC touring. I didn't know about anything that I would get in touch to travel abroad and play. And my agent was the one who actually, again, thanks to him, Uzair Raja, he is, for STEM Sports Agency. He actually got in touch with me and says that, look, the MCC are traveling. Would you like to go? I was like, yeah, definitely. Why not? Again, I've been to Pakistan quite a lot to play cricket, but the atmosphere I had with the MCC group and to travel there, it was just unbelievable. It's probably one of the best tours I've ever been on in my life. Just the way Pakistan's hospitality was, the way they treated all the players. I mean, all the foreign players coming into, you know, a country that had been banned for cricket, they came there. This is perfect. We enjoyed it, every moment of it, and that's something what was really good to see. And I'm glad that everyone enjoyed their time there when we were out.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with you. It's great to see cricket back in Pakistan. Was watching the PSL this year, and just incredible atmospheres. You can just tell it's real proper passion and love for the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
In Lahore and Karachi in particular, and Rawalpindi and Multan. Not forget them. But
no, Lahore is definitely, Lahore's probably, I would probably say Lahore's the best. You probably play the best cricket there. Even club level cricket is probably the best out of all the cities. We played one game in the Gaddafi Stadium against Lahore Qalandars, our first game, which was a T20. The atmosphere was amazing. Like the stadium was packed, and it was just a friendly game. I mean, it wasn't even an ODI, and just to see crowds coming in and enjoying that there's cricket being played here at a high level was quite good to see.
Yeah, exactly. It was lovely to see. It was wonderful. And
Definitely.
as I said, hopefully we get to see a lot more cricket in Pakistan over the next few years, definitely. Hopefully England will come as well. Love that to happen.
Yeah.
But also on that tour, headed by Mr. Kumar Sangakkara, not a bad player to have in the team at all.
Definitely not bad.
Well,
no, he was great. He was great. I mean, we played one game I can remember against Pakistan Shaheens. It's like the A side or the B side. And it was amazing to see his captaincy. And I was bowling, I was managing to get the ball to reverse, and he had this orthodox field for me. It was just amazing to learn these things. That the feel he had was working, like to put pressure on. We basically had a lot of guys on the offside and only a few guys on the leg side. And to learn this, these are things you want to learn from big players. He was a great leader, and obviously he's an all-time great. But he was a good guy to have in the team. Definitely worth it.
Yep, I also like the fact that you said you learned from him. That's a really, well, it's key attributes to have, isn't it, really? And such a wealth of experience and knowledge from the 6th leading run scorer in Test match history. I mean, what a legend. But to wrap up this podcast now, Saf, you've been a great guest. But what's your future ambitions? What's the future got in store for Mr. Safyaan Sharif?
Well, at the moment, I'm just, still focusing on cricket. But obviously, when my cricketing career does end, I'll probably look to coach and feedback youngsters that are coming through the system who want to become professional cricketers, just to give them a little something back. from what I've learned, and to pass it on to them and see them grow as a cricketer would be probably my biggest aspiration, to be honest. I'd want youngsters to come through the system and play for Scotland and, push Scotland through. And hopefully by that time we have the test side nation and, test status. And we see a lot of youngsters coming through the system. And I think the sport in Scotland, cricket, should become number one, hopefully. That's the plan. Because at the moment we're in between football and rugby, and the cricketing's a little bit, just slightly a little bit below, but hopefully that will pick up. But my biggest aspiration is to coach youngsters and see them go through the professional cricketing career.
Definitely, and it's a great place to go, isn't it? Obviously, you've got a wealth of experience. Scotland's leading wicket taker in ODI and T20I cricket. Not bad to have in the coaching department at all. But yes, Safyaan, that pretty much wraps up the podcast, actually. Have you got anything to promote, plug, social media, for example?
No, just would like to, a little message for youngsters coming through. I would obviously say that when you're playing cricket, all you want to do is to enjoy it. Just keep everything simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Just whenever you're playing a game, you want to be enjoying it. That's what I've learned. If you do start to think too much, that's not right. You're going to go the wrong way. So just whenever you play cricket, just enjoy it and do the best you can. That's it.
And it's great advice. Of course it is. I mean, it's great to see that you've still retained your passion and love for the game, even after achieving all these things for both yourself and Scotland. It's great, Safyaan, and fantastic advice for any young cricketers out there. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up episode 21 of the TCC Talks podcast. For all those who have tuned in, thanks as always for listening. And as always, guys, enjoy the rest of your day.